-2.
Try and collect.
Murph playing like it's Pro-Am day, joking with the gallery, and his partner's there. Got it in good shape, 2 under par.
Pretty fancy belt he's got on there, isn't that, Jim? That's, man. Ideal pin placement for Murphy here. Back right portion of the green, 187 yards. Just a nice smooth 5-iron. Start the ball a little left. Let it work to the right. Ooh, bit unlucky. Bit unlucky there. Wow, that ball. That's one of the first balls we've seen hit and just stop.
It backed off the front there.
Just told Mark, his caddy, he thought it was in the hole. He actually had a hole-in-one yesterday at 17, had a 6-iron, made an ace.
To Gary, with this pin in the back right today, you do not want to be long or to the right. Most of the players, I would suspect, will be short left of the hole.
Boy, that's a beauty. Boy, look at this one. Look at this one. Gentle. In the bunker.
That ball carried back to the hole, and it will not stop. We've touched on the fact that the golf course intentionally playing firmer and faster. Very little water put on it in the last couple of weeks. That is making it very difficult for the players to get the ball the right distance with the irons.
That hat can only mean one man.
Larry Ziegler.
He has really struggled today. He's just trying to stay out of these guys' way.
Ooh.
That's just in the middle of the green, ain't it?
Ahead to 17, Palmer.
It's a chip from about 60 feet. Yeah, just giving it too much.
Jim Albus had it to even par, then he double bogeyed 13.
He's driven it perfectly here at 14. Second shot under 100 yards. Should be just a nice, comfortable sand wedge. Should have some spin on it. There we go. Well played shot. Chance to get one back.
The age of change.
Well, there's no question about it that it seems like 55, 56 is certainly where we start to see some of the players maybe lose a little bit of their skills. Like Jim Albus, who we just saw. Simon Hobday has not had nearly the year this year that he's had in the past. And, of course, Lee Trevino would certainly fall into that category.
Trailing by 1. Sigel, I'm sorry, tied for the lead. At 5 under, Bob Eastwood birdied the 9th hole to finish up with that 5 under 67.
This ball out of the left-hand rough, and it does not carry far enough, and I believe catches that front bunker.
Back to Palmer and Trevino.
Well, Lee's been a magician with that putter all day long. He's certainly going to need a little bit of magic now. He's got to come up over a hump. He's going to throw the ball off to the right and then down into the valley.
David Duval. Reminder, we'll have all 4 rounds of the Nike Tour Championship from Alpharetta, Georgia last year. The Tour, very successful training ground off of which that man sprung and made his mark on the PGA Tour when he earned his ticket to the big show.
And David continues to play well on the big tour, earnings this year of over $900,000.
And picked by this man for the President's Cup team for his par at 17.
And he took a wedge and kind of putted out that fringe.
Weiskopf approached at 16, 2 under.
Well, the good news for Weiskopf here is he's in the right or correct side of the fairway. He's Actually, just in the short rough, it appears, but he's on the far right-hand side with the hole cut well left over a gaping bunker. At least he's got a good angle to go right at the flag. Sounded like he nipped it pretty well. Let's see if he can get it to spin. Nope. Firm greens, folks. Very firm greens. They are frustrating these players.
Tied for the lead, but bunkered. Sigel.
Well, certainly not the strength of Jay Sigel's game. Gets the ball up and down less than 50% of the time. And that one comes out very low. Had an unusual sound to it, didn't it, Jim? It caught too much sand. And there's not going to have any spin on it when you catch the ball heavy like that.
Trevino made his par to stay at even par. Now Murph.
Up the hill, be moving from his right to left. Remember, we saw Trevino make it from this same position earlier.
Well, after a 3-under yesterday, look who's just 2 shots back. Tiger Woods. He was the winner after 91 holes in a playoff. Beat Davis Love III at the TPC at Summerlin last week in Las Vegas. Tiger, can he make it to the Tour Championship? With only 3 tournaments left in the Cadillac Series, where seniors earn 1 point for every dollar made in the 21 televised Cadillac events, 2-time Cadillac Series champion Jim Colbert has opened up a nearly 350,000-point lead as a result of 4 Cadillac titles, along with 3 runner-ups in 15 Cadillac events, 70,000 points ahead of Colbert's winning pace from a year ago. Hale Irwin, who earlier in the season was dominating the Cadillac Series, is currently second. The only thing keeping Hale from the top, he's played in only 10 Cadillac events. Bob Murphy has dropped down to number 3. Murph with 2 Cadillac wins and a runner-up in 14 Cadillac Series appearances. And Isawa Oki, J.C. Sneed, Raymond Floyd, and Walter Morgan round out the top 7. Trying to get it up and down after finding that front bunker. Jay Sigel tied for the lead. His par putt at 14 to stay at 5 under, along with Bob Eastwood, who's in the house at 5 under. So Jay falls back to -4. Chichi, tee at 15. He is 2 under.
187. He's going to try to take it out here and cut it back to the pin. This ball looks a little left of the hole. Just snuck into the back fringe.
Just before Chichi. Colbert.
Colbert going to try to play the same type of shot. Take it left, try to carve it back into the pin. Just nailed it straight left of the hole.
After saving his par to stay at even par, Trevino tee at the home hole.
Now that ball started to the right, come back left. It's a dog leg left. Yeah, that is absolutely perfect. I believe he can get home easily in 2 there from there.
Let's see what Lee was telling Gary about earlier today. As Gary's Telestrator, presented by Just for Men, the leader in men's hair coloring.
Well, let's take a look at the new setup of Lee Trevino. First of all, you'll notice it is much squarer than it has been in the past. Lee was saying he had gotten too open. Shoulders and hips, everything was aligned up too far to the left. The backswing looks the same to me. The club is still coming out away a little bit from the ball as it goes back. What you do see, though, is the drop here is not nearly as severe. He's not rerouting the club nearly as much. Now, the other key is let's see how he does with his right shoulder. He is saying he needs to keep it down low and then under. Well, that swing looked pretty good right there. And you also see he was able to get his hips cleared around and through. I think that's why we saw a pretty good result on that effort.
To get it to 3 under at 16, Weiskopf.
Putt that seems to be much slower than most of the players have figured out, Jim. It appears like it's downhill, but it's actually back up against the mountain range to the east.
Bunky Henry, Harry Toscano with rounds of 69. Bobby Strobel of 68. Bob Eastwood in the house with that 5 under 67 in the lead. Welcome back to our first round live coverage. Dave Stockton, 1 under par after his birdie at 11. Another at 13. Here's his approach at 14.
Just pitching wedge, a little over 110 yards, and that ball comes up short. Jim, we're seeing a lot of that. A little, again, different way the guys are having to play 14 in years past. Used to landing it past the hole and spinning it back. Can't do it now.
Geiberger, -1, approach at 16.
Well, this will be interesting. Geiberger, another player who's taken a driver on this very short par 4 and is left now with a fairly short second shot. Question is, can you spin it enough?
Get him.
Okay.
Murphy, 2 under.
Murph generally able to control the distance very well with the wedges. Take it up a little left of the hole, try to cut it back to the right. Oh, bad bounce. Bad bounce.
Colbert, trailing by 2.
Colbert probably chips in more balls than anybody on the senior tour. Just a little pitching wedge, trying to land it just off the fringe, run it down toward the hole. The guys just have not judged the speed of these greens.
Colbert saying he's had to work harder to stay even with Hale Irwin because Irwin raising the standards a bit this year in the race for the money title. Well, what has Arnie pulled out here for his second at the par 5 18th?
Now, like he hit that heavy, darted it low and left. And that runs up into that bunker, cross bunker, some 30, 40 yards short of the green. Not good.
Back to 15. Chichi, 2 under.
He's going to putt the ball out of the fringe. Again, you got to hit this putt a lot harder.
Trevino's second here at 18.
Lee taking it out to the right, trying to play a draw in. Look at this. Hold on, hold on.
Nice shot.
Coming up next, inside the Senior PGA Tour, a slice of life, in fact, a slice of birthday cake with the Senior Circuit's newest rookie, Gil Morgan, last week's winner. And on Inside the PGA Tour, Charlie Reimer bringing his own special brand of down-home humor to Inside this week. 1 hour golf clock right after our live coverage of the Transamerica. Speaking of Dr. Gill, his second here at 18.
Unbelievable drive. He only had 190 to the pin. Hasn't really played with a lot of sharpness after his win last week. Might be just a little spent.
Colbert for his par. Enjoying this money race with Mr. Irwin.
Oh, I think Jim Colbert always enjoys a challenge.
Fairly straight. Just hit it hard enough to keep the line.
Two under par. Bunkered at 14. Stockton.
Jim, it all depends on the lie. If this ball's buried, he's got virtually no chance. If he's got a decent lie, expect to hit it close.
Murphy's birdie try to close to -3 at 16. Chichi at 15.
Well, he's got the line lined up. Let's see if he can hit it on the line. I don't know if that's a good sign or not if you get that excited over making a 2.5-foot straight putt, Jim.
The way he putted at 18 last week. Tee at 17. Weiskopf 2 under.
That's off to the right. Hits hard, bounces into the second cut of the fringe.
Stockton at 14.
Downhill swinging right. Most of the players have not played enough break here. No.
2 times he was the leading money winner. Team Cadillac member Dave Stockton at 2 under par. Missed getting it up and down out of the bunker at 14. Long eagle try for last week's winner, Gil Morgan at 18. His eagle putt well shy there. Held on to win the Rouse just less than 2 weeks after turning 50, outdueling Chi-Chi and Colbert down the stretch. Earlier today, our Gary Koch asked Gil Morgan how nervous he was last Sunday, since his last win was back in 1990.
Well, you know, I was a little nerve-wracked kind of coming down the stretch. I'd played pretty consistent the first 2 days, and then I got off to a good start on Sunday, and then which put me way out in front of the pack kind of at that point, you know, a couple of shots at least. And so I felt like I kind of had to hang on to it a little bit in some respects and try not to make any mistakes. And so I think that put some added pressure early, and then down the stretch, knowing that I had a chance to win, you know, not being there, like you say, in the last 6 years is always a little nerve-wracking situation.
How about the feeling afterwards? Better, worse, same?
Well, it was very nice. You know, it was nice to kind of get off to a good start. You know, that's kind of what I was pushing for, to do well enough early to give me a feel for what's happening. It was very, you know, I made a bogey last toe, I should say, and that was kind of a negative approach to a conclusion there, but. And then Chi-Chi coming in there, that was, I always hate to see Chi-Chi, you know, you don't really like winning that way 100%, but at the same time, you know, you're out here competing and everybody's trying hard, and you do the best you can, and that's about all I did. Well, you know, yes and no. You know, I've kind of had that approach a couple of times. At first I thought, well, maybe that'll release a little bit of pressure, maybe not make me so fired up to you know, to have to do that. And then on the other side, well, now that I've won, maybe, you know, do I need to go on and try to win some more and try to prove to myself, you know, whatever that is. I don't know. Well, I think at the time it was probably the biggest disappointment of my career, not winning or not going on and playing up to my expectations at that point in time. The conditions were very severe. To me, that seemed like the hardest golf of my career, those last 2 rounds at the U.S. Open. And obviously my game was in good shape because I was playing well. So, you know, the pressure of that obviously was a factor. The course setup and the conditions, all those were factors in that situation. And I think it bothered me a little bit that I had that opportunity to let it get away, but you know, it's not life-threatening at that point in time, you know. So, and that's kind of history. You know, I'm kind of made the transition now to the senior tour, and hopefully I'll be able to, you know, attack maybe the senior championships and stuff as much, and maybe be fortunate enough to win one. You know, obviously I'm looking for major championship wins, tournament wins, in kind of in that order maybe. I'd like to play well for the entire year, you know, to be a factor in a lot of events. So try to get myself in a position to be someone to beat maybe at that point in time, or have a chance to win, you know, week after week, kind of what I'd like to do.
Do you think you'll play enough events to maybe contend for the money title?
I don't know. That's a little bit of a problem for me right now. I've got, you know, school-age kids, and I'm not going to be able to spend the 30, 35 weeks that some of the guys play out here. I'm not going to be able to dedicate that much time. I'm hoping to maybe play at a high level when I play, and hopefully that will be enough to be in a position to contend somewhat.
Back to Colbert now, his second at the par 4 16th. Jim is -3.
Just under 80 yards. He's got to play a low shot underneath this overhanging tree. I don't think he can carry the ball on the green and stop it. I think he's got to land it into the bank shore of the green. Oh, he carried it too far. He's trying to land it in that bank and take some of the speed off of it.
Here at 18, Trevino finishing up the defending champion in Eagles try from the fringe.
Downhill, moving a little right.
So he will tap in for his birdie in a round of 71. Jay Sigel now, after a bogey at 14.
Birdie effort here at 15 up the hill. That's got to go. Got to go.
man that won $120,000 last week.
He said he still needs to work on his putting. He has not been pleased with it. Even though he won last week, he said there's still room for improvement.
Geiberger tee at the par 3 17th, -1.
That looks awfully good right there, Jim, if it's the right distance. That's a well-played shot.
Arnie, here a moment ago at 18, finishing up with Trevino and Gil Morgan. This was his long birdie try. As Frank pointed out, though, the Army, they don't care. They are just here and watching. Let's go back 3 years in the first round at 18. Arnie, chipping. This was a great moment. The 18th has been very good to Arnie. There's that one. That was in the first round in 93. But the King was far from finished. In the final round, Arnie did it again. Another eagle. Watch this reaction. Now live, this is Colbert at 16.
That was a pretty decent shot off the lie. He had a lot of, almost one of those bird nest lies where there's a lot of grass around the ball. Really tough shot to get it close.
So Trevino finished up with a birdie at 18. He's in at -1 along with Bob Dixon and Butch Baird. Look who does not have the bag, huh? Willie, but he's in good spirits.
Hey, Willie, how do you like this Gallery?
It's not good, man. I'm nervous more than I'm out there.
The big question is what kind of percentage you getting for watching?
I'll have to deal with wood box up there. We'll just have to work it out. Me and Fox will work it out. I'm gonna give him half of my percentage.
Well, that's the deal. That's not too bad for a vacation.
Oh man, I'm telling you, you get half of your percentage.
Of course, Willie on the sideline. John Fox is caddying for Jim Colbert this week. Fox, a member here at Silverado, and an experienced pair of eyes on the greens that are often very difficult to read. So, a man who putts them quite often is giving Jim Colbert his advice.
So far, a bogey-free round for Colbert with birdies at 1, 9, and 14. Jimmy Powell, 6 MasterCard Grandmasters titles so far in 96, currently at -1.
He's had a terrific year, and his big problem is he fights a bad back periodically. It's bothering him right now, and he's hung in there very nicely today.
Not only 6 Super Senior wins, but he won earlier this year. Beat John Jacobs, right, at the Brickyard?
Well, he did indeed. Second victory for Jimmy Powell on the senior tour after the age of 60.
Did it at Grand Rapids at the First of America Classic with a double dip that week as well.
Well, next up will be Chi-Chi for his par. We saw the extremely poor lie that he had in the bunker, buried very deep in the face.
Well, Gary, this is not an easy putt. You're looking at this putt and it looks like it wants to go right to left, but yet there is a bit of a mountain effect here. The hills just east of the golf course will swing the ball toward the ocean a little bit, and it's a putt that becomes very difficult to read. Chi-Chi's hit an awful lot of good shots today. He's had some pretty nice birdie putts, just hasn't made a lot of them. He's made a couple. I think this will be a big putt for him in today's round.
Now, the putt is really very straight if it's hit firmly enough. Good stroke. That one actually had a little follow-through to it, Jim.
From the fringe at 17, Murphy, he's 2 under.
Good speed.
Stockton, tee at 15. David is -1 after he failed to get it up and down back out of the bunker at 14.
Dave trying to play a left to right shot. Looks like he may have overdone it. A little too much cut. Popular place, short and right.
Colbert for his par to stay at 3 under.
Well, Jim has a putt that's down the same line that Chi-Chi just putted on, so he should have gotten some sort of feel for the read. But it's still 8-9 feet long. It's still a tough putt. You got to get it started on that proper line and get enough speed, which most of these guys have been lacking all day.
Very solid putting stroke all day in the first round. Colbert stays at 3 under, a bogey-free round, trailing Tommy Aaron, who matches Bob Eastwood's 5 under 67. The MasterCard Grand Masters Series, a 36-hole event held within the tournament proper for seniors 60 and over, has come down to a 7-man race. Leading the way is Jimmy Powell. The 6-time MasterCard winner has netted just under $200,000 in 19 MasterCard appearances. Second is Texan John Paul Kane with 2 victories in 22 events and more than $175,000 for John Paul. The rest of the top 7 includes Ben Smith, Dick Hendrickson, Bob Charles, Bruce Crampton, and Gary Player. Looking from the green at the par 3 17th. Gary's Telestrator presented by Just for Men, the leader in men's hair coloring, blends away gray in just 5 minutes.
Let's see why this whole location at 17 is so difficult. There's a knob that comes into the green from right here. Any shot that carries over that will land on a downslope and want to be running away from the hole. Colbert's ball landed right on top of the knob and stopped dead. Very difficult pin placement there at 17. The knob right in this area right here. So again, Jim's ball landing right on top of it, not jumping forward. We've only seen 1 or 2 birdies on this hole today.
Jay Sigel, 4 under at 16.
Jay playing from far enough back, might be able to get some spin on this one. Hang on, and that'll trickle off into the first cut of the fringe.
Chi-Chi still 2 under.
If there's a player that can get the ball close to the pin, I would think it'd be Chi-Chi. Take it out here to the right, try to play a big hook, so when the ball lands on the green, it's actually spinning from right to left, and will run back toward the hole. Well, he tried. He just didn't carry it quite far enough.
Well, also just caught the knob and slowed down.
John Bland's approach at 16. He is at 2 under.
Wonderful action from this man with these sand wedge shots around the green. Short swing, very aggressive, a lot of acceleration through it, keeps the ball on line well. No surprise to see him hit a good shot there.
Third here at the home hole, Weiskopf -2.
Tom obviously must have hit a poor tee shot to not be able to reach this green in 2.
In at 2 under par with a birdie here at 18, Larry Loretti. Trevino, the defending champion, in at -1. Former Masters champion Tommy Aaron tied for the top spot with Bob Eastwood. Eastwood was the runner-up at the Toshiba Senior Classic earlier this year, too. Jim Colbert is only 2 off the lead. Harold Henning has finished up with a 2 under round of 70. Ditto Larry Loretti. Murphy, after a double bogey at 1, has fought back. He trails by 3, as does Weiskopf. And Trevino, a birdie at the 18th. The defending champion in at -1, along with Amano. John Bland.
Birdie putt here at 16, uphill, should turn a little bit left. Oh.
This is Weiskopf here at 18. Check it. Jay Sigel, same hole a moment before.
Jay putting out of the first cut of the fringe, and that's that putt that appears to be downhill but is much slower than it looks.
Jay had the lead on the back 9 at the Bell Atlantic Classic, literally in his own backyard.
Well, I mentioned it earlier, Jim. It's been a good year for him money-wise. He currently stands 10th on the money list, over $700,000 in earnings, but he has not won, and he certainly has had his chances. Kind of gave it away a little bit on the back 9 at the Cadillac NFL Classic in May. Certainly did the same there at the Bell Atlantic. So Good from a money standpoint, poor from a win standpoint. And it looked like he just snuck that one in. Working very hard on his short game and his putting, and needs to.
Catching up with the Colbert group now at 17.
And Colbert has a putt in the 25-foot range. He's got to go the first 6 feet of this putt up that knoll that Gary showed you. The ball should break a little bit from left to right as it goes up the knoll, and then as it comes off that knob, it's going to go downhill, and it's going to go a little bit from his right to left. This could be the type of putt he could make because it's going to be a little bit faster. It's going to be more to the speed that they're used to here. So much of putting is remembering the speeds and breaks from years past, and unfortunately, these are the times the guys have great memories when they remember how much faster they used to be.
Here at 18, Weiskopf trying to finish up with a birdie.
Uphill putt through a hollow and then back up the hill. Never hit it. Never hit it.
Chi-Chi found this old putter he used on the PGA Tour. Called it, what, a gyro?
Yes. Chi-Chi's got names for everything. I like the grip that he's using, Jim. That's my personal favorite. You'll notice we can get a good close-up there. There's no thumbs on the club at all. Says he feels like that's taken the wrist out of the stroke and therefore allowing him to putt a little more firmly.
This is the putter that he used last week at the Ralphs. He said he won in Denver with it on the PGA Tour and a couple of others. Back to the par 3 15th. Bob Charles and his birdie try.
Former champion here. In fact, set the tournament record a few years ago at 16 under par. Certainly not having that kind of success today.
And how things are shaping up in the MasterCard Grand Masters Championship right there. Bob Charles, who has won 3 MasterCard Grand Masters titles. Harold Henning in with that 2 under 70. Colbert and his par putt.
If there's a player on either tour you'd trust your life with on a short putt, it'd be Colbert. He always gets really settled in and always makes a very aggressive stroke, always accelerating through the ball. And of course, as soon as we say something,
goodbye life. Stockton at 16.
That ball should have some spin on it. That ball should spin. Yes, nicely done.
Stockton at 1 under par. Crampton in this group at -2. Also playing in the MasterCard Grand Masters. Over at 9, this is Wargo and Tom's third shot. He's 4 under, 1 back of Eastwood and Aaron.
Trying to play a little low skid third shot, and the ball checked up a little quickly on him.
Another man that said last year was a tough year on Chi-Chi.
He sure's hit the ball quite well the last 2 or 3 months. If this putter ever gets working, he's dangerous. Snuck that one right in.
Chi-Chi's saying it'll be harder to win out here when Tom Watson, Johnny Miller, Lanny Watkins, everybody gets out on the senior tour. But then he jokes and he said, I'll be on Social Security by then. And he's kind of jumped on the one-liner bandwagon when he says the good news is Chi-Chi won't have to play Tiger Woods until he's 90. Everybody's trying to figure out when they'll have to play the rookie phenom. Murph, 2 under, home hole.
That ball's hit heavy anytime you take that kind of divot with a
God, what a break for driving
the fairway wood. And obviously he didn't have a very good lie.
After that putt, You've seen the Sabre? Well, check out the Trow. Located in the heart of America's premier wine region, the beautiful Napa Valley, Silverado Country Club and Resort is home again to the Transamerica tournament this weekend. A colonial mansion stands as Silverado's centerpiece for both the North and the South courses. The resort has received Golf Magazine's silver medal as one of America's finest golf destinations. Each year, 100,000 visitors use Silverado facilities and log 90,000 rounds of golf between the North and the South courses.
McCain Pizza Pockets are ready. Are you ready for a chance to win one of 100 Sony PlayStations, the world's hottest video game system, equipped with the awesome new action game Crash Bandicoot, or one of 500 Oasis CDs? Every time you buy your favorite tasting McCain Pizza Pockets with this special flash on the pack, check inside to see if you've won. It's your chance to win a Sony PlayStation with Crash Bandicoot or an Oasis CD. McCain Pizza Pockets are ready. Are you?
Whoa.
They're not so big. We can take them. Big, big, everybody. Big, 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 big.
Think big taste? Think big deal. With a New York Fries and Pepsi purchase, get a Mr. Big free now while supplies last.
Located in the picturesque rolling hills of Napa Valley, the beautiful Silverado Country Club and Resort, one of the most prestigious golf clubs in all the world, rated in the top 50 by Condé Nast magazine. The home venue again for the Transamerica. Stockton to get it to -2 at 16.
This is one of the few putts on the greens this week that might be a bit quick. He's kind of putting downhill. Great field putter. Looked like his putter kind of grabbed going back that time.
Well, it did. He kind of stuck it in the ground. Dave always wanted to take the putter back very low, and he got it caught. Usually you would stop. He went ahead and went through the stroke and exploded it.
After adjusting his trousers, Chi-Chi at 18.
18 is a great driving hole for Chi-Chi. You can take a low hook, ground's hard, get this ball running down here a long ways.
And it is running, and running, and running. Ball looks like it ran close to 100 yards. Unbelievable.
Murphy up on the green, or just off the green.
Well, he's gone from a poor lie in the fairway where he said the ball was in the hole to certainly not very pleased with this lie. Ball nestled down a pretty good bit in the rough. Good news is he's got a lot of green to work with. Oh, man. No way you think you can hit it that soft. Not coming out of that grass.
Watch it come out in slow motion now.
Well, hit it just like a bunker shot, generally. Hit behind it, actually catch the grass first. And I think the ball was actually sitting up a little bit more than Murphy thought, and the club really kind of went underneath it.
Over at the par 5 ninth to tie Bob Eastwood and Tommy Aaron for the lead. Tom Wargo. So he and Bobby Strobel in with 4 under par 68, trailing Eastwood and Aaron by a single shot. Sigel, tee at the par 3 17th. He's 1 off the lead.
Just a nice solid 6-iron for Jay. They like it on the tee. Oh, they should. Woo, best shot we've seen there at 17 today.
Coming up on Monday night, the 14th, college basketball Midnight Madness. That's on Monday night. It's the first night that college teams can officially hold practice. Dick Vitale will be there. Digger Phelps will be there. Hey, Digger gets married tomorrow night right here in the Napa Valley. Getting married at David Wolper's house. Midnight Madness coming up Monday night. Wolpert's got a little madness of his own here, way left at 18.
Yeah, Jim's in a lot of trouble. He tried to play a 3-wood off the tee and try to play a hook like Chi-Chi did. All he can do is just chop it back out. He may get it in a position he can possibly get to the green in 3, but he may not have the length.
Bob Eastwood looking for his first senior tour title, the runner-up to Colbert at the Toshiba Senior Classic, tied for the lead with Tommy Aaron. Welcome back. Just a second ago, Murphy 2 under par at 18, trying to get it in at -3 with Harry Toscano and Bunky Henry. So Murph will join Harold Henning and Larry Loretti with an opening round of 2 under par 70. Not terrible, though, after starting off the day with that double bogey to tie for the lead at 17.
Jay usually puts these very firmly. Yeah, sometimes too firmly.
Colbert at 18.
237 yards. Now, this is his third shot. 3-wood, he can get there. He's hit a good-looking shot toward the middle of the green, depending on the bounce. Ooh, it didn't carry the bunker. Must have got that one a little bit heavy.
Crampton on the tee at the par 3 17th. He birdied 15 and 16. Bruce is 3 under.
Off. Right there in the middle. Oh. Okay.
Safely on.
Moment ago, John Jacobs. Good rookie year, huh?
Well, I think maybe even a little bit surprising to some people that John Jacobs has played as well as he has. Currently just in the top 30 money winners at 29th.
Brian Barnes with a nice birdie putt. So as we check some scores, Frank Connor over on the front side, also out of the Q school, likely Buddy Allen. Buddy needs a good check, huh?
Well, Buddy does. He's currently not in the top 31 money winners, but Jim, I think his career combined earnings are keeping him in an exempt status. But every week's an important week for him, no question about it.
Crampton winning the MasterCard Grand Masters title earlier this year at the Burnett Senior Classic up in the Twin Cities. John Bland made his senior PGA Tour debut here 1 year ago. Zarley in our gallery of champions winning here in '94, and when before that?
When before that? When he was on the regular tour here back in about 1969 or 70.
The old Kaiser. After missing his birdie putt to tie. Sigel home hole.
Jay extremely long. He's taken a 3-wood off the tee. That looks like it might be hooking a little quickly. And it appears to have caught the pine tree on the corner. I don't know for sure where it landed after it hit the tree.
Fernandez had it to 2 under after 8. He double bogeyed 11. Get in. The winner at the Burnett Senior Classic. Quickly, Stockton.
It's a 5-iron. Tough shot for Dave, moving the ball right to left. And he's left that out to the right in the center of the green. In fact, it's hopped to the right side of the green.
What a day of college football action tomorrow. We'll kick it off. Purdue against Penn State. Purdue led by running back Edwin Watson, who rushed for 227 yards against North Carolina State. And then Heisman Trophy candidate quarterback Peyton Manning and the Volunteers, ranked number 7, taking on the Georgia Bulldogs, led by quarterback Mike Bobo. Over on the Deuce, Minnesota on the road against Northwestern. Northwestern, of course, upsetting Michigan. Then Maryland, the defense ranked number 9 in the nation, up against North Carolina State. They're playing in Chapel Hill. Colbert trying to catch Hale Irwin in the race for number 1 on the money list.
Really a difficult bunker shot. It's one of those bunker shots that it's very difficult to carry the ball blasting it the length you need to. And if you try to play a low chip and run out of this, there's not enough greens. So it's going to be interesting to see how he gets this one done.
Looks like he may be trying to play a blast shot, but using a pitching wedge. And that'll just catch up in that hollow and come up short. He'll have a fairly lengthy putt for a par.
That for his par. Remember that graphic on what happens when they turn 56? Colbert has won 4 times this year at age 55. No let up. Chichi, a moment ago, 2 under here at 18.
That was his 3rd shot. Remember the huge drive, and he didn't take advantage of it. He'll have 12 feet left for birdie.
Jimmy Powell in the foreground there. He's at -1, in at 1 under. The defending champion, Lee Trevino. Also Walt Morgan, Tom Weiskopf, Butch Baird, and Bob Dixon. Coming up next, inside the Senior PGA Tour, a slice of life, indeed a slice of birthday cake with Gil Morgan, who won last week, followed by Inside the PGA Tour with Charlie Reimer and his own special brand of down-home humor. Colbert, for his par, he bogeyed 17, remember.
Up the hill, 18-footer, moving a little bit right to left. Nope, never had it high enough. That's a disappointing finish, Jim, a very disappointing finish.
After 3 under and a bogey-free round to finish bogey, and in at -1 with Walt Morgan and Lee Trevino. John Jacobs, tee at 15.
187 yards down the hill. That's just a rip-snorting 7-iron for JJ. Whoa. That's right full rudder. That's into the grandstand.
Chichi for birdie. If it goes in, you'll see that Sabre. He's at -2, in already at 2 under. Bob Murphy, Al Geiberger, Harold Henning, Larry Loretti, Bunky Henry, and Harry Toscano in at -3. Don't forget, check Sports Center later for all the first-round leaderboard action here at the Transamerica. In the lead, Bob Eastwood, his last victory back in 1985 at the Byron Nelson. Tommy Aaron, his last victory at Kaanapali in Maui back in 92. And Chichi, runner-up last week along with Colbert, finishes up with a birdie at 18. He's in at 3 under par. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.